Okay, hello you crazy people out there, this is Dragonite, and I just finished the game of Bravely Default after 1 year, 4 months, 15 days, and I don't know if I counted that up right, but who really cares. So I think I said something along the lines that I'd be doing a kind of review slash rant slash post-mortem of this game, and that's what I'm going to be doing right now. So, Bravely Default. Before I start, yes, there are quite a few things that I did like about this game. I know I'm going to get jumped on that later. For one, the music is excellent. It's right up there with like the Elder Scrolls, Oblivion, and Skyrim. I don't think that's even a question. If you heard me talking at all during that final battle, you will know that I really like the music in this game. It did start to get a little bit repetitive, but that ties in with something I'm going to be complaining about later. But yes, I didn't catch in the credits who did the music for this game, but they did a really good job with it. The braving and default system was really interesting. I don't know if that's a thing that's been implemented in any other Square Enix Final Fantasy games, but it did make the random encounters, for one, a lot less painful than they otherwise could have been, because you can basically attack 16 times in one turn without penalty. I believe the general strategy for level grounding in this game is like you take the Valkyrie Asterisk, you give it to everybody, and you just spam Crescent Moon over and over again, since that's a physical attack that hits all enemies. And it uses BP instead of MP, so you can't ever run out of it, and you basically just throw that on auto battle and run around in circles while you're watching television or something. It also made the boss battles somewhat more interesting than they probably could have been. To be completely fair, most of the problems I had with the bosses in this game is, one, because I just am not apparently a fan of reading instructional text, and two, especially at the beginning of this playthrough, I would go like a month, 2 months, a whole summer between recording sessions. And in that span of time, I would basically forget everything I knew about this game, and yeah, it's kind of reflected in especially a lot of the earlier videos in this playthrough. But that's neither here nor there. It made for some very interesting YouTube comment conversations, so whatever. I kind of know what I'm doing going into Bravely Second, so leave me alone. The graphics is another really good thing. I think I was talking about this a little bit towards the end, but this is one of the few games I've played where the 3D effect is actually, like, really good. I was playing with it on during the final battle there, and I'm not kidding when I say it looks like you can, like, reach your hand through your 3DS screen and actually, like, touch the objects that are sitting there. As opposed to, like, Pokemon, where it just kind of lags the game during battles. And, Tales of the Abyss, where it just kind of looks like sheets of paper standing up instead of a real diorama. Those are the three main things that I liked about this game. The story itself wasn't bad, but as I'm going to now start talking about the things that I really didn't like about this game, I don't mind if you have a 90-hour RPG where you have 90 hours of content, but where was I in playtime when I finished off Paterfamilias for the first time? Like 50 hours into the game? If you just have that and it's repeated, what, 5 times? That's not... I've complained a lot in the past about how Super Mario would say, okay, you finished off all the levels in this game, but if you want to get the real final ending, like, you have to jump on the top of the flagpole with both Mario and Luigi in, like, both the regular worlds and the special worlds if you want to get the real final ending in Super Mario 3D Land, something ridiculous like that. That pales in comparison to Bravely Default making you just beat the game 5 times. There really wasn't any reason for that. Like, when you went into the temples and refought the boss battles, spoilers, or lack thereof, there is no difference between the scenes that play, other than, like, the grammar that Tiz uses to describe how many times they've already fought that same boss. There is no difference. You could have cut out chapters 6, 7, and really chapters 5, 6, and 7 and just jumped straight from the end of 4 to the beginning of 8 and not missed anything plot-wise. And you would have saved, like, 48 hours of your life. When it comes to the side quest battles, there is very little difference between the different times you fight them, other than like, oh, we've seen you already, and slightly different motivations for what the characters are doing. And I didn't fight anyone in Chapter 7, I fought a few people in Chapter 8, but I didn't leave that in the final video that went on YouTube, and I don't really care. Voidgazer was getting mad at me in the comments of some of the videos for expressing, I guess, a lack of interest in the side quest bosses. I'm sorry, good sir. If you want me to know how they end, feel free to, like, write up a 5-paragraph essay on, like, the subplots of Bravely Default, but I'm not going back to play those. I might, in some future date, like 7 years from now, go back and refight the Chapter 8 side quest bosses, since those are a little bit different. They're a little bit longer. Like, the cutscenes around them are a little bit longer, and you have to fight them all at the same time, which does add its own, complexity. Maybe if, like, 2019 is a really slow year for AAA game releases, I'll just go back to Bravely Default, finish off some of the job asterisks, and, like, go after, like, the Eternian Sky Knights or something like that, but not now. The payoff versus effort ratio is just way too low for that. So if I had to give a numerical rating to this game, if it ended at, like, Chapter 4 or 5, I would probably give it a 10 out of 10 and call it the best game on the 3DS. and that's saying something considering how many games there are on the 3DS that I really like quite a bit. But after I think it was like 70, 80, 90, 100 videos, I really didn't enjoy playing this game. I probably would have just like stopped playing this game after 100 videos if it wasn't for the people in the comments keeping me entertained. And to the bunch of people who were writing stuff on almost every video, thank you very much, because I really enjoyed that. Talking to people. You might have noticed I'm not a huge YouTube channel, and that's not something I get to say every day. But anyway, getting back to the thing about numerical ratings, after like Chapter 6, I honestly started to enjoy this game less than Paper Mario Sticker Star, and you're free to go and like dislike every video on my YouTube channel for saying that now, because I know Sticker Star was not the most popular game ever. But considering the way it ended, or maybe rather the way it didn't end, I really can't give this game more than like a 6 out of 10. Maybe a 7 out of 10, and say, don't play this game unless you really like your JRPGs. Everybody else who's in the credits, I would say, like, good job, you made a really good game, but to whoever did the writing for this, and I don't mean the writing as in, like, what Tiz and Adia and Ringabel said, because that was fairly entertaining. The way, like, Ringabel and Adia would bounce off of each other for pretty much the entire thing. But whoever's idea was to just have the game repeat itself for that time, I'm sorry, no. That's not how you do stories in video games, or in any other piece of art, for that matter. If you want to open up the discussion about whether or not video games count as art right now, because I sure don't. Anyway, I don't want this to go on for too long. I have not yet actually made up my mind on whether or not I am glad that I decided to play this game, but I will say that I have been informed that Bravely Second fixes a lot of the complaints that I did have about this game, such as having you fight everything like 20 times, and also the way the HP bars show up by default on enemies you've already scanned. That's pretty nice. And I'll probably be playing that game too. I'm not sure yet if I'll be doing it immediately as it comes out in the United States, which is about 2 weeks from now as I'm recording this, or if I'll just wait a little while, because I think, like I said earlier, there are other things I want to do that don't involve devoting half my channel's existence to Bravely Default games. But for now, I hope you all enjoyed that. My name is Dragonite, and I will see you all later.